I'm back. Really excited, actually, to be back. So, there must be a reason for it, right? Or else I wouldn't be on here. Figured I'd sit down and kind of write a little bit beforehand. I like to get a feel of what I'm going into anymore. Like, I don't know, I noticed when I first started out on YouTube, like I would just kind of jump right into it, and it gave me almost like a little bit of anxiety. So like recently I've been kind of like I'll pre-pull cards and I'll sit with it and I'll journal and I'll really get a feel for it before I head into it, so I'm not like going in blind. So I kind of started out the same way. Journaling, writing, and I even got as far as picking a crystal card, which I was super excited about, and we'll get to that because it's like one of my favorite crystals. So I was like, oh, this is cool. But then when I got to pull the cards, I didn't want to. So I figured I would wait and I would do that in the reading because I kind of had enough, I think, from my journaling to work with it. I got enough of a feel here, and some of these are kind of random, kind of weird. They're definitely going to resonate with select people. So we'll go into that. I kept all day. They kept leading me to Dossier on the Ascension by Sarah Bisbay. It's a book. I actually wouldn't have it. I've kind of falling apart at this point. I've read it quite a bit, but this is the book. And they had me open, right? And what came through, intense need for purification and the magnificence of transmutation. So right there, I kind of feel like I have a theme. Purification, transmutation, that's what's going on. How the crystal works into that was just perfect. We'll get to that later. A couple other things that came through. This is weird. Significant pain in my left foot. Okay, for someone, it might not be your left, but maybe it's foot in general. I don't know. There was a sharp, significant pain in my left foot. I know, it's weird. I heard the name Robert distinctly. Robert was pointed out to me. And then I wasn't even think about it. And then I saw here again on my little thing is also Robert. And I was like, okay, that's 2. And like usually I'll have like a 3 kind of thing. Like if it's brought up 3 times, I know that it's, but I don't know, the fact that I was already like in this, so that might for someone be important. Then it jumped back to the Dossier, and it brought back seraphim. They kept saying seraphim, which the seraphim, they're burning ones, which would go along with purification. That's the best way to purify a vessel, is to burn it out, burn everything out, right? Purify it. And then I heard redeemed, so I looked it up because like I sometimes, like, we know what words mean, but like when you look up like a definition or something like that, sometimes it gives other ways to look at a word, and there were a few. When I looked up what does it mean to be redeemed, the definitions that came up, to free from captivity by payment of ransom, which hopefully no one is going through, to extricate from or help overcome something detrimental, to release from blame or debt, or to clear, which again ties into this need for purification and this transmutation of energies here. And I was sitting there, I said, okay, anything else? And I heard good to start with. So this is obviously something that they really want you to focus on doing. This is something that you should have all your attention going into. That's it. That's if you're like, oh, what should I be healing? What should I be working on? What should I, your team, your whatever you want to call them. I call them my team, my spirit guides, my ancestors, my God, what you ever want to call it, universe, however you want to label it. It really doesn't matter as long as you're getting the message. That's what they want the focus to be on. Purification, transmutation. All right. I just felt like I had to take a very deep breath. You may need to take some deep breaths. Okay? To purify a vessel is not easy. We're going to head over into start the reading here. It's not easy. It can be painful. All right. What do we need to know? Ooh. King of Swords, King of Wands, Page of Swords. Okay. I'm not trying to make this like about people. So you could have a few people that are kind of watching you. That Page of Swords came out, 2 different people. You could. I'm not willing to really go in that direction with this reading. So I'm gonna read it in a way that really doesn't allow others to be involved. It was very clear. I would make it very clear. It was very clear in when I was journaling that this is something that is inclusive. Like it's very self oriented. Like you really can't have other people. So like I know like people who watch a lot of tarot, or maybe even if you read yourself, you can be like, oh well, it could be a person. Listen, I get it. Like there are plenty of different ways to read this. Oh, there must be multiple people involved. Listen, that's not going to be tonight's read. Okay? And even if it's trying to be, I promise you it won't, because we do not need to focus on anybody else right now. So I will keep steering this back. I have to shuffle the damn deck. Okay? This for me, because I know that this is not supposed to involve other people, this for me is a need for clear thinking, honest communication with the self. Part of that purification process is getting real honest, getting honest with ourselves about the things that we probably don't like to look at. King of Wands is a great guy when he's upright. What part of you, and King of Wands is also action. He's very charismatic, and he moves. He makes moves, right? What areas are you making moves in that might not be the best area to make a move in? And we got to be honest about it. I'm really getting this need for clear thinking. The King of Swords has an amazing intellectual ability. He's able to kind of rise up and see an eagle eye view of things. He's able to separate emotion from judgment and thought. Things are very cut and dry. This is how they are. This is how we will see them. And this is how we will continue to look at them when the King of Swords is out. And I think that's what they're wanting you to do. Now, a lot of this, breathe. A lot of this is emotional clearing, yes. But in order to wade through it, because the only way out is through, right? The only way to wade through the emotional stuff is to maintain a high enough perspective to where you don't get drugged down. So that's what they're wanting you to do. I'm being pulled to the sword. Okay? The sword has 2 sides, right? And they're both sharp. Okay. You need to be able to see all sides of things. all perspectives, point of views. And I'm also being told, I'm being reminded, there's this thing, like, people carry around like tiny swords or whatever, and like just in case they're ever in this tiny sword battle. And like I was thinking about it one day, and I was thinking, I carry mine in my mouth, right? A tongue can most definitely be a sword. So you should be careful as to how you wield it, right? Because words can hurt. So I think that is a big indication also of how are you speaking about yourself? How are you speaking about others? Watch that. Watch what you're doing there. I think someone might have a tendency of staying somewhere a little bit too long, maybe in thought. I'm being brought to this butterfly here. Butterflies kind of go place to place, whatever pleases them, right? Yeah, Knight of Swords in reverse. You're staying somewhere too long, staying in a thought too long. If you kind of mulling and you don't really see yourself going in any kind of direction, you're stuck in a loop. You need to get that bigger perspective, maybe do something else. Let's see. Ooh. Yeah, look, do something else. Six of Swords. Move on from it. See, she's going right here. It's hard to glare. All this water representing where she is very choppy, and over here is all smooth sailing, right? She's taken all these thoughts, these swords are intellect, thoughts, ideas, that kind of stuff. And she's moving away, right? She's only taking with her what she needs. So we want to keep it moving in that direction. We really want to not worry, I shouldn't say worry, we don't want to worry, but we want to be observant, would be a good King of Swords way of putting this. We want to be observant as to where we're going and how we're getting there, right? Because that's important too. You don't want to just let it carry you away and then be like, oh shit, I don't know how I got here. Well, if you learn to recognize when it starts to happen, then you can stop yourself from going. All right. Seven of Swords on the bottom. Yeah. You might have something that you're doing that you're feeding to yourself almost. It's whether it quite literally is feeding something to yourself, that's not exactly helpful. Everybody probably has something that they're indulging in a little bit too much somewhere, whether it's a little too much sugar, coffee, or whatever it is. Try to make those little changes. I switched, I drink tea instead of coffee, or it's maybe you stay up late, or it's maybe you smoke, maybe you drink, I'm not here to judge you, but I'm saying what's coming through is there might be some deceptive things that really, the Ten of Swords on the bottom, these things need to be stopped. And obviously these are probably going to be things that they were the first things that came to your mind when I said all this. It's like, oh, my addiction to social media, right? You're my couple glasses of wine I have to have, my whatever it was that popped into your head. That's probably a good place to start. We really have to also be careful how we're speaking to ourselves. This is emotions. Are you telling yourself that you're a big pile of crap, or are you speaking love and kindness into yourself? Like, it's really important. I'm going to try to keep this pretty short. Oh, uh-oh. Okay. Six of Pentacles. I feel like there are parts of you that you have no problem giving to, like, oh yeah, I can do that. I can give to this part of me. Like, maybe it's, you don't mind working out. You don't mind working out. You work out however long you want to, right? You can do that all day long. But there are other areas of your life that's like this guy, pretend this is like working out. This guy, he's like, yeah, look at all this stuff I'm getting. I'm working out, yeah. And then over here, he's like, please, just, it's your emotional self. Please, just look at me. Please look at me. You know, so it's almost like there's like this part of you that is imbalanced because there are parts of yourself you just don't want to have to look at, right? And everybody's like that. You know, I'm probably the opposite way. Like, you know, I would rather, you know, analyze something intellectually or emotionally than run on a treadmill, you know. But again, that's something that I should be working on. I'm gonna bring up the crystal. The crystal is actually moldavite, which it's hard to. I wear. If you can see it, I wear a moldavite. I got it quite a few years ago now. I've been wearing it for years and years now. But when I was looking for a new amulet to wear, I found it at a spiritual show out in Colorado. I was out in Colorado visiting family, and I was really drawn to it. And you know, it really, if you're looking for a crystal, you're into the spiritual stuff, and you're at a level where you're kind of wanting to up things a little bit, I recommend moldavite 100%. I'm gonna read it. It's a glassy, pale to dark green tektite formed by a meteorite impact 15 million years ago in what is now Germany. It says it's trippy AF and it's expensive. Who needs it? Spiritual seekers, extraterrestrials trapped in human bodies, ayahuasca enthusiasts, Aquarians, which is my opposite. I'm Leo. Where to put it? In the middle of your forehead during meditation, altars, alien landing sites. Best to use it when you feel too grounded or disconnected from spirit. I thought this was very interesting when I read it after everything that I channeled in my writing. Because a lot of time purification, I think, helps when you get more connected. Like, especially for me, if I'm not staying up on my prayers and my routines, and you know, like really talking to my ancestors and like really staying up on all my stuff, I can feel that I'm like, I don't know, some kind of way, right? I feel disconnected almost. I'm never disconnected. You're never disconnected, by the way. But those of you that have a spiritual practice or have some sort of a routine, have some sort of a prayer thing that you do, and you know what I mean. It becomes like putting on clothes, you know. So, you know, if I don't anoint myself, if I don't do what I need to do, I almost feel kind of like naked for the day. And again, if you know, you know. So if it's something that you're doing, you know what I mean. And if not, maybe you should adopt something that you're doing to really deepen your, and you don't have to, I'm not saying you have to go out and start praying, and if you're not into that, you're not into it, it's fine. But have something that you can kind of involve yourself, even if it's just, you know, the universe, the world around you, because you're constantly interacting with it, whether you know it or not. Might as well be on the good side, right? When you're looking for wow or woe in your life, not like woe as in misery, woe as in woe. Meditations, explode your perceptions with moldavite. Moldavite is all about operating at a higher frequency. So really, really cool. Be careful though. A lot of people scam people with moldavite. You won't even get real moldavite. You're not going to get some gigantic piece. They're usually very little. Like this one it's little. It's, you know, size of my nail. My nail's probably the size of an almond. So they're not big. I want to say that's trying to think if I should leave it there. This is very, what else do we need to know here? What is it? How can they, okay. Tower, the moon. Somebody, it's almost like, you know what that feels like? Tower versus the moon. It's almost like somebody's bracing for impact, but they don't even know, like, everything that's involved. That's what it feels like to me. It feels like, that's the truth. Ace of Swords. It feels like to me, like somebody is just expecting the worst here. Somebody's just like, I know something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna this and this and this. And it's almost like the universe is like, you might be intuitive, so you might feel that something is gonna happen, but it's almost like things are so hidden about it. The universe is kind of like, look, you wouldn't even be able to know, even if you could know, you can't. Why are you worried about it? That's what this feels like. It feels like you have no reason whatever work you do on yourself is work on yourself. You know, you don't need to really measure how fast you think you're doing things. Growth really is easier measured in, you know, thinking about the past. Like, how's the best I can describe this? It's like, it's hard to see progress until you look back, right? That hindsight is 20/20 kind of thing, but it's like you really don't know how far you've come until like you turn around and you go, oh, that's where I used to be at, right? So if you're doing this stuff and even if you're just getting into this kind of stuff and you're really like trying to figure out which way to go, you're trying to get to this level of purification so you can I liken it to, if anyone's ever I don't know if you ever been in the armed forces, or my grandpa was a paratrooper in the US Army, kick-ass guy, and he would tell me stories, you know, about like what they do when you go in. They kind of tear you down into like this baseline moldable soldier, right? And then they build you back up kind of in the image that they want you to be. And that's what I'm feeling here, except it's, you know, it's transformative. It's purifying things about yourself that I think have been redeemed. You know, these qualities that you are able to pinpoint and absolve yourself from, which that's not easy to do. So, you know, kudos to you on that. What can I tell them to do besides maybe get some Moldavite? I love it. I never take mine off. Seriously, I've been wearing it for years. What can I tell them to do to help? How can I, ooh, my throat. Okay, so you can work on your throat chakra. I'll tell you that right now. Ooh, you can do that. What else can they do to help? Ooh. So I'm going to take these. We'll break it down here. What you can do to help. I get kindness from this. Six of Cups, you know, it's about important relationships, emotional fulfillment, you know. But what I'm seeing here and I'm feeling here is just kindness, you know, he's being kind to her. Maybe that will help to do more kindness, to be more kind in any way possible, whether it's holding a door open, whether it's, you know, whatever it needs to be. However I could do such and such, go with it, okay? That's a great way to start. Kindness. He's helping her. He's do things for yourself that fulfill, like all these cups. These are all cups are emotions, right? All these cups are filled up with beautiful flowers. They're all full, right? Overflowing with emotion in this card. It really feels like, how can I be more kind? How can I be more kind to myself? The more kind you are to yourself, the more kind you are to other people, right? It lowers our defenses. It's almost like you're not walking around like a porcupine anymore. You're softer in a way, which is nice. Okay, what else? Oh, beautiful. The star. Healing, right? Taking that time, learning that balance. There's a time and a place for everything, and everything is in this beautiful rhythmic timing. It's just perfect, right? Star is an absolutely beautiful card. Just healing, divine timing. You can understand that might be something that they're trying to show. It's something that would help you move in the right direction is knowing that you're already moving in the right direction. Right? Sometimes we just need to know that. We just need to know that, yeah, we're actually going in the right direction. And I love that. It's very, very calm, very nice. Because when you're doing this other stuff, this purification and transmutation, let me tell you, it sounds cool, but it's tough. It's tough on you. So it's important that, can you even see these? I moved them all the way out of the thing. It's important that you remember you're healing. Be gentle with yourself. Everything is, everything is kind of aligning the way it needs to. You're doing the work. Don't worry about how quickly it's happening. There's that King of Wands again. He just keeps wanting to pop up, doesn't he? Just give me a second here. I'm trying to... the King of Wands, I'm going to leave this reversed, actually. The King of Wands is a progression, right? There's knight, there's page, knight, queen, king, right? So it starts out with the page, and then the knight of Wands is very... just react and ask questions later. It's very quick. We're going to do this. Yes. Do we have a plan? No. But we're going. Even when you get to the king, he's probably got a plan, right? But he doesn't lose the enthusiasm. He stays pumped, right? This is your hype guy. This is that guy you want to bring to a party. This is, he's gonna make it a lot of fun. Keep that attitude, keep that charisma, keep that fire under yourself, that fire, that drive. He's always looking at his staff. He's always looking for growth. See this? All these little things, that's growth. That's new growth. That's something that he has a uncanny ability to search out, right? Is the new, the up and coming, what's gonna catch fire and burn everything down, right? That's King of Wands energy. He's passionate, he's intense. He's a bit unpredictable, only in a way. It's not dangerous, but it's almost like was not expecting that. That's King of Wands. That's the energy I'm getting. They want you to be less concerned with, well, how might this play out? Or less concerned with, how might this screw me? Or, because some of these things I was told to keep it in reverse, because some of these things I think might be traumas that you're working through. So if you head into something and you get all these, well, what if this and this and this? Some of those might be legitimate, yeah, right? Some of them might be things you haven't healed enough to let go of. Okay, so they're wanting you to know that these things are here. So if they creep into your mind, if these things kind of start to trickle in, that's all right. As long as we're keeping everything else in order, just let it go. Don't even worry about it, right? That's where that transmutation comes in. We're taking what we have and we're turning it into something else. This was really nice. Definitely not as quick as I was hoping. 30-minute read, but I like it. I can't seem to have a really short reading ever. All right. Is there anything else? Any other message that I need to get out right now? If you made it this far in my video, by the way, thank you. A lot of people actually don't stay for longer. These are considered longer reads. A lot of people don't stay for these longer reads. Oh, strength. Yep. And temperance. And the sun. Oh, I love it. And I saw the Knight of Cups, so that means there's progression there with that Page of Cups, which is good. Strength. Seems pretty self-explanatory, right? But sometimes I think we need to be reminded. It's even the strong ones need to be reminded that you need to be strong. It takes a lot of strength to be gentle. She's not wrestling this lion. She's very gently moving it, and it's with a gentle hand that you're going to be moving through this. I don't think the universe or God or whatever you want to call it is really wanting to force you or push anything on you. This is a direction that obviously your energy is trying to take you in. It will only go as far as you'll allow it to go. But you have everything you need to go. You just got to get in the boat and do it. Yeah, I like that. All right, I'm gonna leave it here. I hope this was able to help somebody. I heard keep breathing. So maybe breath work could be something you look into. Breath work, Moldavite, keeping that enthusiasm, knowing how strong you are. I want you to think back, 5-10 years. Where were you then? Right? And I want you to start seeing the little ways, even tiny things, maybe that you don't do anymore. Maybe you quit smoking. Maybe, I used to eat a whole gallon of ice cream, or, whatever it was. What have you stopped doing that you don't do anymore, that you can kind of latch onto and go, well, if I could do that, then I could do this. And just keep building. All right, that's it. Thanks for hanging out with me for a while. It's nice to be back. No telling how long I'll stay. But it was nice seeing you again. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.